Ben Roethlisberger is still going strong in year 17 for the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. Roethlisberger has 2 rings to his name and has been named to 6 Pro Bowls in his career. He may have a fast track to the Hall of Fame when his career is all said and done. Way back at the 2004 NFL Draft, Roethlisberger was the 11th overall pick. Looking back, how did the picks ahead of him turn out, and where are they now? First of all, please do subscribe if you enjoyed the video to make sure you don't miss any future uploads. It really helps us out and allows us to continue to make content for y'all. First, let's take a quick second to talk about how Ben Roethlisberger has gotten to where he is today despite lackluster high school and college performances. Benjamin Todd Roethlisberger Sr. was born on March 2nd, 1982 in Lima, Ohio. Roethlisberger went to Findlay High School where he was the captain of the Trojans' football, basketball, and baseball teams. On the gridiron, he didn't start at quarterback until his senior year, instead sitting behind the coach's son. What? Yeah, I know. The coach actually started his son over a future Hall of Fame quarterback. Lack of playing time pushed Roethlisberger to land at a mid-major in Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. Roethlisberger redshirted his first season with the Redhawks after he took over as the starter and excelled. Roethlisberger was named MAC Freshman of the Year and followed it up 2 seasons later by being named MAC Most Valuable Player. He owns a ridiculous amount of Miami records and owns the record for most games and most consecutive games in a season with 200 yards with 14, both of which are an NCAA record. Roethlisberger finished his collegiate career with 10,829 yards and 80 touchdowns to 27 interceptions. He decided to declare for the 2004 NFL Draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers own the 11th selection where they took Roethlisberger, and the rest is history. He was the Offensive Rookie of the Year, won an NFL record 13 games as a rookie, and followed it up with a Super Bowl victory in the next season. Roethlisberger has had an illustrious career with 2 Super Bowl wins and 6 Pro Bowl appearances. Additionally, he has led the league in passing yards twice. Through 3 weeks of 2020, Roethlisberger has 57,322 yards and 370 touchdowns to 192 interceptions. He owns a slew of franchise and NFL records, currently in year 17. Now, onto those players selected before the future 2-time champ. With the first overall pick at the 2004 NFL Draft, the San Diego Chargers selected Ole Miss quarterback Eli Manning. Manning, the younger brother of Peyton Manning and son of Archie Manning, refused to play for the Chargers and was promptly traded away to the Giants in exchange for Philip Rivers and 3 picks, including a first. Manning had a very long potential Hall of Fame career over 16 years, all in New York. He, of course, is known for his 2 Super Bowl victories and 2 Super Bowl MVPs, both of which came against the Patriots, including his iconic win over the undefeated Patriots with his escape and helmet catch by David Tyree. Additionally, Manning made the Pro Bowl 4 times. His number 10 was retired by the New York Giants after he retired from the NFL back in January of 2020. He never missed a game due to injury in his career and currently ranks 7th all-time in passing yards and 8th in touchdowns. Manning had 57,023 yards and 366 touchdowns to 244 interceptions. The Oakland Raiders owned the 2nd selection where they took Iowa offensive tackle Robert Gallery. Gallery played tackle for 3 seasons and was simply awful. In 2006, he missed 3 games and still gave up 10.5 sacks. Ahead of 2007, he was moved to guard and ended up performing much better. Gallery spent 7 years in Oakland. He then signed a 3-year deal with the Seahawks ahead of 2011, but was released after 1 year. In 2012, he spent the offseason with the Patriots before retiring ahead of the season. Gallery played in 104 games in his career. 3rd overall, the Arizona Cardinals drafted Pittsburgh wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald is a for sure Hall of Famer whenever he retires. He is currently in year 17 and is still producing for the Cardinals. The accolades for Fitzgerald are endless. He is a 3-time All-Pro and has been named to the Pro Bowl 11 times. Additionally, he has led the league in both receptions and receiving yards twice. Fitzgerald is a member of the NFL 100th Anniversary All-Time Team and the NFL 2010s All-Decade Team. After 4 weeks in 2020, he has 18,171 yards and 120 touchdowns in his career. NC State quarterback Philip Rivers was taken taken 4th by the New York Giants. Rivers was traded away in favor of Eli Manning by the Chargers. He went on to become the heart and soul of San Diego and later Los Angeles. Rivers has been a premier regular season performer in the NFL. He has been named to the Pro Bowl 8 times and was the Comeback Player of the Year in 2013. Additionally, Rivers has led the league in completion percentage, passing yards, passing touchdowns, and passer rating. He was a member of the San Diego Chargers' 50th anniversary team. Rivers left the Chargers after 16 long years this past offseason in favor of signing with the Colts. Traded 1-for-1 for Manning, Rivers has been the superior player on the stat sheet with 60,225 yards and 401 touchdowns to 201 interceptions. However, the long narrative on Rivers remains the same. He has no ring. With the 5th pick, the Washington Redskins selected Miami safety Sean Taylor. Taylor impressed early for the Redskins and was quickly becoming one of the best safeties in the game, known for his thundering hits. In 4 seasons, he made 2 Pro Bowls, was named an All-Pro, and recorded 305 tackles, 12 interceptions, and 8 forced fumbles. The story of Sean Taylor is one that ends prematurely. Taylor was killed during the 2007 season after he was shot in a home invasion. We talk about a lot of players on this channel, but Taylor is more than just another name for me. I remember the news breaking as a kid and my dad's reaction to it. Whether it be playing defensive back growing up, the decal on my laptop, or the towel that hangs over my bed from the game after his death, Sean Taylor has without a doubt had a very major impact on my life. Moving on, the Cleveland Browns own the 6th selection, where they took Miami tight end Kellen Winslow II. He is the son of Hall of Fame tight end, you guessed it, Kellen Winslow. The younger Winslow had an extremely difficult start to his career, including a motorcycle accident, broken fibula, torn ACL, and staph infection. Luckily, he recovered to full health and went on to excel. His best season of his career led to his only Pro Bowl appearance in 2007. In early 2009, he was traded to the Buccaneers for 2 picks and signed the largest contract for a tight end at the time, a 6-year, $36 million deal. He had a successful 3 years in Tampa Bay before being traded to the Seahawks in 2012, before being released and signing with the Patriots. He was released after a single game and later spent brief time with the Jets. Winslow has recently made headlines. He suffers from CTE and has recently pled guilty to raping an unconscious teen and sexual battery against a 54-year-old hitchhiker. 7th overall, the Detroit Lions selected Texas wide receiver Roy Williams. Williams had a fine career, once leading the league with 1,310 yards en route to being named to the Pro Bowl in 2006. After 4.5 years in Detroit, he was traded to the Cowboys for 3 picks, including a first-rounder. He was expected to come in and play a huge role for Dallas, but it just didn't happen. His tenure with the Cowboys was extremely disappointing, and he was released ahead of the 2011 season. Williams played 2011 with the Bears before retiring in the offseason. He had 5,715 yards and 44 touchdowns in his career. Virginia Tech cornerback DAngelo Hall was taken 8th by the Atlanta Falcons. Hall spent 4 seasons in Atlanta, where he made 2 Pro Bowls and began to make a name for himself. Ahead of the 2008 season, he was shipped off to the Raiders in exchange for 2 picks. Hall signed a 7-year, $70 million deal before being released later in the year. The Redskins then signed Hall right after and gave him a nice 6-year, $55 million deal in the 2009 offseason. Hall played out the next 9 years of his career in Washington before retiring in 2017, making another Pro Bowl along the way. Hall had 814 tackles, 43 interceptions, and 11 forced fumbles in his career. Also, he is tied for the NFL records for interceptions in a game with 4 and fumble return yardage in a career with 328. Hall has worked as an analyst for NBC Sports Washington, Fox Sports 1, and NFL Network. He is currently the Washington football team game day radio analyst. Another random personal connection here, I actually got to watch Hall retire in person, and the first autograph he ever signed after retiring was for my little brother. And oh yeah, he's a bit of a local legend here at Virginia Tech. Go Hokies. With the 9th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected Washington wide receiver Reggie Williams. Williams was disappointing in Jacksonville, to say the least, showing only brief flashes of talent in early 2005 and 2006. In 5 seasons with the Jaguars, Williams had 2,322 yards and 18 touchdowns. He then spent the 2010 offseason with the Seahawks. Williams then spent brief stints with the Sacramento Mountain Lions of the United Football League and the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League. The Houston Texans owned the 10th selection, where they took South Carolina cornerback Dunta Robinson. Robinson started his career off with a bang, being named the PFWA Defensive Rookie of the Year after making 6 interceptions. While certainly never a star, Robinson had a solid pro career. He spent 6 years in Houston before inking a 6-year, $54 million deal with the Falcons. Robinson was released after 3 seasons and last played for the Chiefs in 2013. He had 594 tackles, 17 interceptions, and 7 forced fumbles throughout his career. Ben Roethlisberger has had a simply stellar career. While constantly being compared to the two quarterbacks, Roethlisberger has the edge. Philip Rivers has been wildly successful in the regular season, but hasn't captured any playoff success. Eli Manning is a playoff wizard, but struggled during the regular season during his career. Roethlisberger has been a stud in the regular season and in the playoffs, with 2 rings to show for it. He will likely have a fast track to the Hall of Fame after retirement, while the case for Rivers and Manning remains up in the air. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed, and if you want to stay up to date with Darren and I, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We love interacting with y'all and appreciate the support.